Yes. You know what time it is? It is that time to get into the world of entertainment, gist, and great conversation as well. 17 minutes past 8 a.m. on a Thursday. And you know that we're stepping into the grapevine right here on the Smooth Breakfast. This is Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Ayokunmi here. And looking forward to a great morning of a lot of interesting discussions, banter, table breaking, not shaking, breaking. I expect that to actually happen. Don't ask me how I know. I just know and I'm usually right. Anyways, welcome along to a great morning. You can join us on WhatsApp as always. Share those messages with us, and I believe you have a lot of things to actually say. 0809 981 is the WhatsApp number. 0809 0981. Join us on YouTube as well. Get your front row seats at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, joining me as they always do on a Thursday, two main men, the table shakers, breakers themselves, the Amazons when it comes to all these sorts of matters. Oris and, of course, James Silas. Good morning to you guys.
Yeah. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, boy. Good morning. Oris, my nigga. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Sorry. Oris, my guy.
What
Oris,
else
my
to
guy.
begin? What else to begin?
Apologies.
And shout out to everybody. If you've been following this show since day one that we got on board, shout out to you, the real MVP.
All
My
right,
bad.
James. Exactly. In any case, yes. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Mr. James Silas. And good morning, I guess, to Lagosians, wherever they might be.
Yes, indeed. Or good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on the time zones. Because you know, Smooth, we are global. You can listen to us everywhere you are, even if you are in the North Pole. Doesn't matter. Carry us where you are. Yes, your favorite radio streaming apps, you'll find us there. Okay, let's dive into the hot gist for the morning. And where better to start than with Tubaba? He's been in the news again. It just seems like he can't help himself. Uh, Okay, I'm going to start from here with his apology. He issued a heartfelt apology to his wife, Natasha, and
How do you know it's heartfelt?
well, I mean, he says, or they say it's heartfelt, or I believe it should be heartfelt. Apology to his wife, Natasha, and their children following the backlash from a controversial statement he made about male sexuality and monogamy as well. He was on the 234 Mzansi podcast, and he claimed it is, in quotes, nearly impossible for a man to remain sexually involved with only one woman, if even if he deeply loves her. Now, that remark quickly sparked widespread criticism and intense public debate. Now, I don't know how they knew it was remorseful. In a remorseful post shared on his Instagram page on Wednesday, Tubaba acknowledged the gravity of his words and the hurt that he had caused. And he said, I know I messed up with what I said. I know I'm going to pay dearly for it. I'm going to pay the heavy price for this, you know. I said what I said, man. I didn't say it appropriately. Let me just leave that for now. There's a lot more where this actually is concerned, and or is you know where this issue is actually concerned. His brother also was speaking, accusing his wife Natasha of manipulation and control and so many things. There's so much drama going on in the house of Idibia at this point in time. But those remarks that he made, a lot has been said back and forth.
Well, to be honest, for me, this is just you catch the person with his hand in the cookie jar, and then it's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it. That's literally what is happening here. But in a sense, you might consider this, I don't know if the word is growth. Might be growth, or it might just be some kind of, I don't know. It could be growth, or it could just mean what exactly this woman does this new wife mean to him. Of course, for most of us who have known Two-Face for about 2 decades, if not more, we know he was married to someone else called an Indibia. And Macaulay.
Macaulay now.
Yeah, exactly. For a while. And I believe that Two-Face actually has expressed this exact sentiment at least 2 times in the past. In the past, I don't know, maybe 5 years or six, if not less. I think he has expressed this exact sentiment. So what for me is different is the fact that now he's offering an apology to his wife. One of the times he said this in the past, actually, his former wife was right there. You know, I think during the show, the reality TV show that she and him and the rest of them from across the continent were on, Two-Face actually made something of this nature. He actually said something of this nature actually at the time. This is maybe 2 years or so ago. And at the time, she was right beside him. So my question now is, what has changed? I don't believe the man has changed. I believe what is happening here is that here is a woman who is, I mean, sad to say, or I don't know if it's sad to say, but there's only one way to put it. She is not quite a pushover in the way that I guess, and it probably was. Probably was. Probably. Because if you could say this exact same thing while your wife was there, and now your wife wasn't present, but you felt a need to apologize publicly to her about it, I think it tells us the kind of what's it called, difference in how you consider both women.
But at the same time, and
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to what his brother said. His brother alleges that it was Natasha that made him make that public apology for those statements.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm saying, is that if she could make him do that after the fact, meanwhile, his former wife couldn't even get him to do that while he was doing it, and she was right there. I think it tells you the kind of, I guess, where he places both women, or the kind of temperament that they have.
Right.
So this is, I don't know, I guess anybody who is aware of the differences between his behavior between both wives would probably think that, okay, maybe, just maybe, you can choose, I guess. How exactly do you approach somebody as famous and as grossly, what's the word, peculiar as Two-Face? Do you approach him in the way that Annie Macaulay did? Or do you take the, I guess, strong hand that Natasha, who is from my state, by the way, exactly. So, in my view, though, like I said, for me, the most important bit of what has happened is not quite the apology; it's the fact that he felt the need to do it. And if his wife could make him do that, I believe that it says something about the way he considers a position in his life, in a way that he also says something about how he considered Annie before. Right. So yeah, that's my angle.
James, I mean, looking at all this and looking at all his brother has said, Charlie has said, I mean, I want to believe that he has some sort of inside track, maybe not all the inside track, but some level of inside track. And he said so much when Natasha is concerned, accusing her of manipulation, control, and emotional sabotage as well. Now, taking it back to the statements that Tubaba made, as Oris said, it's not the first time he would say such a thing. So we kind of know the mindset he has when it comes to women. And of course, we've seen his track record. So should these things actually surprise Natasha in any way at all?
Okay, so first of all, there's no proof that it was Natasha that made him do the apology. There's no clear proof that it was Natasha, but that's what the brother is insinuating. Now, Charlie, I would say, is one Two-Face Idibia's brother who probably tries to tell Tubaba the hard truth, air quote. Now, this, what Tubaba said, I mean, I watched the interview. What Tubaba said in the interview, I don't think it's something that's alien to a lot of people. Even a lot of regular people have said it. It's a conversation that is still, on the table, that people still talk about every now and then. How they tell you that, men are not wired to be with one woman. The story is something that will never end. People are talking about it every other time. People have that position till tomorrow. Right. So I don't think that's something that is peculiar to Baba. Do you understand? Now, if I go by what Charlie was insinuating in his submission, I would want to think that the problem is not about Baba wanting to be with other women, or even when he's in love, or when for a man being in love with another woman and then wanting to have something with other women. It might just be that, according to Charlie, Tubaba did not mention Natasha as his wife, or mention his name mention her name during that interview. Do you understand? And I'm trying to think that, did he not? Maybe he did not. And for that, because if you check, whenever Tubaba said, and the person I'm currently with, and then they do go ahead and say, yes, Natasha, shout out to Natasha. They do kept emphasizing, kept saying it, wanting Tubaba to probably say it as well, connect who I am with Natasha clearly. Now, Charlie said a couple of things, even including saying that Natasha was delusional, seizing to Baba's phone, or maybe what's that word? Cloning his WhatsApp, responding to his messages, deciding what email to be responded to, making the man drop his management, and even changing her own last name to Idibia, where probably there's no official or traditional rights or whatever procedure has been followed for her to change her name, or legal whatever to change her name to Idibia. But I'm not taking the name change seriously. That's social media. Do you understand? Maybe in the papers she's still Natasha, her surname, but not. But on social media, you see Natasha Idibia, which is also crucial because she's also trying to. And then, of course, according to that whole report, post, Natasha, Charlie is claiming that Natasha was the one who announced Tubaba's divorce. Now that divorce part, if we look at it, it was of course. So maybe she said, "Look, you have to do this video. You have to make this public so that everybody knows," and maybe that's what happened at the end of the day. But I've never really know. I know Two Face is very fragile when it comes to, especially if he takes his if when it comes to alcohol, I mean, for somebody, a few people who have come around him or who have seen him operate, you see that when he takes alcohol, that's his vice. That's the major challenge. I think I know that he has. Yeah.
I feel like you are giving us Two Face's biography. Speak specifically
wait,
on this thing now.
So I think that's where sometimes he loses. That's when it comes to. I think he loses his, his senses, and anything can happen. But
in that regard, I mean, if he loses his senses, I mean, what he says wouldn't be what is innate, like inside him, latent inside him. At the end of the day.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just my own is James. Look, fact of the matter is this: this man has a certain thoughts about his relationship with women, and he has acted it. He has told us to, and he's saying it again. The only thing, like I said, the only difference here is just that the fact that this is the very first time in the past how many years that he has felt a need to come and say publicly that, look, maybe I overspoke. This is the very first time he's ever done something like this. What has changed?
Do you not think, Oris, that the man has a right to his own opinion?
No, I'm not. Nobody's arguing that. The point is, that's why I'm saying that that's why it's very surprising that he came out to say, hey, look, I maybe shouldn't have said this. I think that's a very important bit of this information. So nothing else is strange here.
Men, before.
You said?
No, bear in mind.
Yes, he hasn't exactly. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that he's never done this before. He has said this thing many times, like I said, and he has also acted it out, to be honest. The only difference now...
Does it connect to the possibility of what Charlie was saying, that he was pressured to do it?
Yes, no, for me, I think there's a relationship between being with someone who makes you, directly or indirectly, come out and make a public apology for something you've said several times in the past, and your friends and family feeling that that person has too much control over you. I think there's a very thin line between those things. So this is why I cannot say that the brother is entirely delusional about what he said. I can only assume that, you know what, he probably has an inkling as to what is happening here. But again, for me, who is on the outside, I do not think it's a terrible idea for Two Face, who is speaking as a married man, by the way, or maybe I say 2 times, or I don't know, maybe not as a married man, since James was trying to insinuate that he hasn't quite said, but I think he has referred to his wife a few times over the past few months. Actually, he's actually said that. Yeah. So, for someone who is with someone, whether as a partner or as a married, whatever it is at all, it is pertinent that you speak a certain type of way publicly about certain issues. You understand? Mm-hmm. Now, we know that Two Face isn't the most self-censoring kind of person, which is why probably he said what he said. But I think he probably went home, probably was spoken to harshly, and said, you know what, I have to do this publicly. If you see the subsequent video, he looked actually quite, what's the word?
Subdued.
Yes, no, yes, that's the word, yes. He looked like a little subdued.
Out of the house, and he needs to beg.
He could actually not even really look at the camera when he was speaking, So you could see that, you know what, it feels like, I have to do this thing, and so I'm going to do it. So all I'm just saying is that, look, Two Face, there's a certain way you expect. By the way, everybody should know this. James is married. I do not think that James will say certain things publicly, even if he believes them. Because, of course, you're thinking about yourself, your kids, your
Don't
family,
try
people
me,
like
try me
that.
now. Tell me what you have in mind.
Say these things. Say exactly what Tume said, James, and let us see what happens to you.
We just take
We
a
know your wife.
No,
we
yeah,
just
I
take a
said it
break right
already.
now, guys. We just take a break right now. Let's begin to cross that threshold. When we come back in, we'll continue the grapevine. I'll be talking about Sean Diddy Combs. That was one of the big pieces of news that came out yesterday evening on his trial, found guilty, found not guilty, and so on and so forth. All that and a bag of chips on the other side. This is the grapevine on Smooth 98.1.
98.1. It's true. Let us ask James to let's ask James to say stuff about men not being monogamous. Let us say that chicks should not chase out of the house.
No. But
there's something that you
no,
cannot
but
do.
Always,
And
the
something
society.
you can't do as a married man is the truth. There's something you cannot do, and if you do it,
You can't and you shouldn't.
and again, and if you do, you have the what's the word? You are in danger of being spoken to in a certain type of way that makes you feel like, you know what, maybe I should come and tell everybody, you know, I'm sorry. Because look, listen, if Louis was not married, I don't think he'll come out to come and do an apology. And if it was married to somebody who wouldn't hold him accountable, I don't think he would do that either. But you can tell that in this case, the woman he's with will not tolerate you making her look bad. I think that's the big issue here. She's in politics, Abby.
Yeah.
She has a name. She has a family. You get?
Yeah.
Her husband, who is new, by the way, 2 seconds old husband, is making it look like, you are not enough for me. Even if he's not saying it directly, that's kind of what he's saying indirectly. There's no way she should allow that. Like I said, Annie was kind of a pushover, which is why he could say something and never apologize. But you know that this woman, Natasha, a no state woman, she go hold your shirt.
Oris, do you not think that Natasha is holding him accountable for the same offense or for the same moral offense that he committed while with Annie Dibia?
No, but yes, but if you say this, he said this exact same thing with Annie Dibia, so it's like it's
that's
so it's how he is.
Was she not around the corner while the guy was with his wife, and then before ending up with her?
But listen, but nobody's going in there, especially if it's not a marriage, and thinking to themselves, okay, what you did to this woman, you should come and do it to me. You are thinking that it's going to change for you, you know. That's exactly what it is, and it's entirely fine to be that delusional if you're married to the person. To be honest, it's fine. You can think that, you know what, it's fine to feel like maybe, just maybe, this isn't quite what will happen to me now that I'm with you. So I get it, but I don't believe. Yeah, somebody said about Kama. There's what's his name? You read the comment. But part of the matter is that I get it. If you feel like, even if this happened, even if I was the cause of this thing, it should not happen to me. Why would I want it to happen to me? So I get it.
Yeah, I understand.
Laughing. I'm really thinking about how I was going to take it, but I already figured it out. Don't worry. All right, let's go back in. All right, welcome back into the Grapevine. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Ayokunmi here, of course, Oris, and James Silas.
Yeah.
That's what's up. We are in the building, tackling all the entertainment gist and, of course, bringing you perspective on the matters. And we also look forward to you sharing your own unique perspective on the issue. So please do share them with us on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981. That is the WhatsApp number. You can also join us on YouTube. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can leave your comments in the chat box as well. This is a message from Toyin Odulata. She says, Two-Face and Natasha deserve each other, and she needs not form shock and anger, knowing the exact type of man she got involved with and the circumstances, in quotes, under which she got with him. This was a woman that was relishing the pain of another woman while they were getting together. Karma is a dog of a feminine variety. So please, let's carry on. And please, let's not blame his statement on alcohol. I beg. This is exactly the man that Tubaba is. All right, Tony, Thank you for sharing that. Tayo says, I feel he doesn't know how to control himself. Anyway, he calls himself the biological mechanic or something like that. Perhaps his living in bondage was his own problem. I hope things get better for him and Natasha because he's giving a bad sign. He can't be shy, he apologized. Exactly, yes, he wasn't even looking at the camera. I seriously had to edit this message because if I talk like Tubaba, I become apparent from my house. Maybe catchers will catch Tayo, I don't know. Perhaps. This is Sarah from Surrey. Sarah says, or is it a lie? It's because she's an Edo woman and there's plenty we know about Edo people.
One of them is that Edo people don't cheat,
Okay.
especially Edo men.
Okay. All right, moving on from whether Edo men cheat or not. I mean, you can share your perspective. If you know things we don't know about Edo men, specifically James and Oris, I'm sure you open the door. You can share them with us on WhatsApp. Okay, let's talk about Sean Diddy Combs. He's been found not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking, but convicted of a less serious prostitution charge after a high-profile 7-week trial in New York. The jury, after 13 hours of deliberation over 3 days, found Combs guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, each of which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. I mean, Diddy looked very relieved as the verdict was read out after. And this verdict came at the end of a trial in which prosecutors had accused Combs of being the boss of a decades-long criminal group who directed loyal employees and bodyguards to commit a myriad of offenses at his behest. Now, just to remind us, the alleged crimes included forced labor, drug distribution, kidnapping, bribery, witness tampering, and obstruction, as well as arson. That's quite a long,
That's a lot.
a long rap sheet. But he was found guilty of racketeering and
No, he wasn't found guilty.
Sorry.
Prostitution.
Oh, sorry, prostitution. I beg your pardon. He was found not guilty of racketeering. So he was found guilty of the lesser charges. Now, I was having a conversation with someone about this yesterday, James, and there was a school of thought. Now, this is all speculation and all these conspiracy theories that he was found guilty or found not guilty of the serious charges because finding him guilty of those charges would open the door and expose some things about certain people that should not be exposed, and so on and so forth. Speculation, conspiracy theories, but hey, let me hear your thoughts about how this trial has actually gone.
So I mean, where you say, oh, lesser charges, I don't think that was actually lesser. So it was supposed to be the prostitution, transportation for purpose of prostitution or something like that. And they said he had the maximum, it was a 2-count one that had a maximum of 10 years. I want to believe each. So we don't know yet, right? Let's not forget that he tried.
If he had gotten some of the other ones, it could have been life. So there's a huge difference between life and 2 counts of 10 years.
Yes, and some years,
Let's
right?
not forget again that it's possible that the judge could make the 2 sentences run concurrently. So instead of it to be 20 years, it's then 10 years.
And there's also speculation.
You understand?
True. Also, he applied his his lawyers applied for some kind of bond to let him go for now, but that was also refused
until the sentencing. But they're keeping him back.
Yeah, so until October, I mean, I think they just want to punish him a bit or just press him, because if you're going to get away with this thing, let's just even at least give him some form of distress, But even if he gets, that's maximum is maximum. If I don't think he'll get the maximum part of his, whatever the case is. But I think that so far, Diddy has somehow, some way walked away with a lesser, maybe something you want to call. But if we now look at it again, if the major criminal offenses were not pegged on him, I mean, the transportation for purpose of prostitution may not be so dire. Like, it might still be termed something that he does, his own vice, so to speak, But it's still an offense in the country. So hey, but I don't think it didn't end up as bad as a lot of people thought it would have been.
No, of course. I believe anyway. I mean, they said he was visibly relieved when it was read out. Of course, nobody wants to spend their life in jail. Nobody wants to go there for 2 seconds. But if you have a choice between 20 years or 10 years, as the case may be, and life, bros, I'm sure that there's only one option there. You're going to pick.
Absolutely.
Please give me this one. Let me take my 10 years JJ and let me go home. You get? So I think in a way, not really a way, massively speaking, he's incredibly lucky. And this should come as a victory, to be honest, to him and to his people. And then they said his girlfriend, Young Miami, was tweeting something, and people were very angry about what she was tweeting. But the fact of the matter is that I can imagine that if you are friends and family with Diddy, I mean, no matter what the crime is, I'm like, at least let my guy come home. And this has made sure that is possible, at least within the next few years, because I don't think that they would, I don't know. I mean, who's to say? But I suspect that they may give me maybe a few years. And if that happens, I think it's still going to be like, okay, I escaped the worst of it, because if he had been convicted of racketeering, bros, no BL. He will be, it will be quite a big deal. So I think at least first things first for him is that the worst has been escaped. Now you can deal with what comes afterwards.
The worst has been escaped, and what comes afterwards can be dealt with. All right. Sarah says, please, can these lawyers help R. Kelly? We miss his craft.
This one is on dangerous.
Sarah, they will come for you. You got to be careful. And Xavier says, good morning, house. Oris, you want us to block you outside of it. You come on international radio and have the nerve to say that, I wish what he said, to say that Edo men don't cheat. Edo people don't cheat. Let me not open your dirty linen in public.
What does Xavier know about me? Because I'm an Edo man and I don't cheat, so I don't understand what this man is saying, to be honest. I have no idea what he's talking about. But
let's move on from that. Let's talk about Alicia Keys and some money. And my body's doing me one kind. Anyway, she's made headlines after reportedly rejecting a $9 million offer for a 9-minute performance. Now, according to her husband, Swiss Beats, in his podcast, she rejected the lucrative gig because she prioritized spending time with him. Furthermore, he highlighted the importance of integrity and prioritizing loved ones. However, this showcases her commitment to their relationship over a substantial financial $9 million for a 9-minute performance. $1 million per minute turned down, according to Swiss Beats.
Look, there is a famous line from, is it the Hemingway, Scott Fitzgerald? The rich are different from you and me.
Clearly.
That's what this is, I guess. For most of us, a fraction of this figure is enough for us to abandon our mothers, our fathers, our wives, our husbands, everybody in the world to just dive it, But I do not think that at the Grammy-winning, Billboard topping, I don't know, globe-trotting level, $9 million is, I guess, make or break money. So once again, Mr. Ayo, the rich are different from you and me.
And when you actually added yourself in the grand scheme of
I'm there. I'm not the rich. That's of course. Please, anybody come and give me 900K, I'll take. 9 hours for my month. Can you imagine? 900K for 9 hours. That's my own rate.
James, I beg.
So me, I don't know why I feel like there's some kind of cap in that, but it's okay.
It's kind of what?
Cap. Like because
you don't think it's possible.
No, I know, but
these guys get crazy offers every day. So I'm not entirely. This doesn't sound. It might be a lie, like you're saying, but it doesn't sound outlandish to my ears because I feel like these guys have several opportunities to do stuff. So I do not know that necessarily that losing $9 million is going to be a huge deal for Alicia or for her husband, Swiss. That's what I think, at least.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that $9 million. Yes, I know, but for the context, it's making it seem like because of love or because of she wanted to be with him.
Yes, that might be the part where maybe not saying
that's why I thought that it was. I mean, come on, man. Like, has she not been doing concerts? Is it like she's now a stay at home mom? She doesn't have to go to concert. Or like, what exactly?
Maybe there was something else. Maybe a child was sick or something. You get? There might have been other circumstances.
Not for something that you've been doing all your life, and then now say you have a concert somewhere and say $9 million, and you said no because come, get out of here, man.
In fact, I feel that cap is a fedora safe because for a 9 minutes performance.
I tried to convert that. Look, don't.
Bros, your brain would explode. Do not attempt.
Don't piss me off.
Don't even do it. Okay, let me take the messages here. Shewodessa in Surulere says, did he do it? The council should have waited to have sufficient evidence before opening the case. Kid Cudi will soon jump from US to Africa. Bro won't feel safe.
That's an interesting.
They call him Diddy. Okay. Well, Taya says that baby oil had Diddy slipping through most of those charges. 50 Cent was highly disappointed with the outcome. I'm sure he's playing many men to console himself. Anyway, he gets to go to prison. He gets to go to prison. Well, he's just awaiting sentencing. Fun fact: it's the same lawyer that defended Young Thug that represented Diddy.
Yeah, that's true.
He's smiling to the bank. In fact, he has the keys to the money. Taya, spitting bars. They should join us in the studio. Spit bars, yeah. Ewa Inuniru says, Tubaba has always been consistent about his opinions on sexual promiscuity with women, even before his first marriage with Annie. This apology is more or less damage control PR stunt.
Yes, so I think it's entirely damage control. Like I said, his wife is a politician. Like I said, I do not believe that she wants to be embarrassed publicly by her fresh husband.
Very, very fresh.
Like,
the paint hasn't dried.
Exactly, and you want to be embarrassing me in public. Please go and apologize there. I can imagine how that conversation when it took place at home. Bros, you have to do this apology. Otherwise, let's forget what the threat is. But I'm sure there was some harsh talking to.
Oh wait, but guys, is it not possible that Natasha was there when that interview was going on?
No. I don't think it's possible.
Well, according to the video, she wasn't on the panel.
She certainly was not, at least not on camera.
Yeah.
So wherever she is, she wasn't on camera, which of course maybe gave Bros the nerve to say what he said, because knowing the kind of person she looks to be.
If people did not react, if there were no comments, if the people did not react to that particular statement, do you think Natasha would have said, go and apologize?
I think she would have. I think that anybody except of course for Annie, who obviously looked like she has such an incredible soft spot for Two-Face. I think most women would give you trouble, at least, for making that kind of comments publicly. When you are publicly again their partner, it just feels some type of way. To be honest.
Right. All right, time to wrap it up and call it the morning on the grapevine. Before we go, any last interesting words you'd like to share, Oris and of course James?
James, do you want to say something?
I mean, just pretty much follow me on Instagram, X. I'm on Facebook as well. I'm just pretty much everywhere. Shout out to me, reach out to me, let me know. I mean, we can have conversations, entertainment conversation, business conversation, music business conversations, any of those things. And tell me you're from the grapevine, I'll holler back.
Yeah. As for me and my household, I guess follow our film and TV magazine on Instagram called Film and Fico Africa. And you can say hi to me on Twitter. I just saying hi to catch Oris. Like I say, catch me online, but not on the streets.
Well, we shall see about that. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Always a fun time having you in the studio and Lagos, Nigeria, the entire world. It's been a pleasure having you join us on the Grapevine. As always, we do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:15 a.m. on the Smooth Breakfast. Keep it tuned, Smooth 98.1 to Thursday. So great vibes will be coming your way.